Hi, my name's Candace. I'm going to be doing the new moon in Scorpio video for you guys, or reading for you guys. And how I decided to do it is I'm going to split it up by signs. I was thinking I was going to do the water signs first, just because, it is kind of Scorpio season. So, I decided to do a poll on it, and water signs still came out first. So the water signs will be first, air will be second, fire signs will be third, and earth signs will be last. However, I don't know how much it's going to matter because they may all be posted at the same time. I'm not sure. But if they're not, that's how it's going to go. I'm just going to look off a list just to get some things out of the way before I start the reading. I hope everybody is enjoying November. The full moon just passed, which is in Taurus. I very much enjoyed that full moon because I am a Taurus sun, Gemini moon, and I have Leo rising, and my Venus is in Pisces. So it was very like home to me. It was weird because I actually had like a revelation because I've been going through a lot myself. I'm in the middle of going through a spiritual awakening, so I've been feeling all these other energies, all these changes, not really like myself in a long time. And I was just commenting how kind of at peace and how calmed I was, and it was like for the first time I had felt like myself in a long time again. And it was nice to feel because, it's one of those times, it's kind of like an aha moment, but you think it's kind of like what I call like a duh thing. Like you should be like, it's to take it for granted. You should know that. But sometimes you forget the most simple things in life. And I realized with it how long it had been since I felt my own energy, just because of how much I've been going through and how many changes and evolving and challenges and all the other energies from the other moons. How much I really love my own energy, and how much I took it for granted for years, and always looked outside of myself to feel at home and complete. And it was kind of that moment where I realized like it was in me all along. So although I do appreciate the other moons and the other energies that really help me, they're helping me evolve and change and kind of not be so stagnant and so just focused in a not good way. But at the same time, bringing it back around really has just kind of reconfirmed to me how much going within kind of brings you everything that people are looking for anyways, or the things people are looking for. It's within yourself. It's actually your own energy. It's just people take it for granted. And I don't know, I just wanted to say that. So keep in mind the energies that come around, because it was something I really didn't think of until I was actually enjoying my own energy. I didn't realize how much I didn't feel like myself for a while until it came back around, and I'm like, oh, this is familiar. This is nice. So I just wanted to say that. So the full moon was in Taurus, which is about releasing. So it makes room for energies in your life also, so that energies can come in with the new moon for planting seeds and manifestations and just where your energy is going to go, because it's all about a journey. It's all about what you're going to do, what you're going to do next, and the moons help you with that. And it's hard sometimes to manifest or bring new things in when you have a bunch of things that you need to let go of and they're really not working for you. So I'm not really going to get too much into the Taurus full moon, but I know for me at least, it really, I think, helped ground me for what's possibly gonna come for the Scorpio new moon. They're both intense signs. They are opposite signs. So they have a lot of likes, but they have a lot of differences that can balance each other, especially if the signs are involved. So people might have gone through where they've released things, maybe even jobs, possessions, things the Taurus are about, mostly that groundedness, maybe even stubbornness. But for me personally, it worked out to where I think it kindly gave me like a groundedness and a balance and a peace, and an intense one I haven't felt in a long time, and was much needed. I'm not sure if it's like the calm before the storm. We'll see. But for me, I think that's the way it was. It was a nice, calming, grounding energy. And I have a feeling that it's much needed for the Scorpio new moon that's coming. So let's talk about Scorpio and what they represent. There's a lot to it, but we'll cover a lot of your more general things. Scorpios are very mysterious. They're all about death and rebirth, release, regeneration, the phoenix rising from the ashes. They're all about truth, not only finding the truth, but telling the truth, sort of, because they're also very mysterious and secretive at the same time. So, especially the unevolved Scorpios, they'll hold even more truth back, but they're all very truthful in some way. They will tell some truth. They almost always will tell a truth that is, in others or in the world around them. And I'll kind of get more on that, especially with how they mirror and reflect. There's just no way you're not going to find some truth being around a Scorpio. But they usually always pretty much uphold their truths as well, at least to what they know their truths are at the time. They're pretty good about looking within, so they usually know themselves pretty well. They're very patient in the sense that they observe and plan. They're not always patient in like getting what they want, and that might be an unevolved trait, but they are very patient in observing and planning their moves and just watching. They're very observant. They're very much about the higher consciousness, spiritual awareness, especially the evolved Scorpios. They a lot of times have increased intuitive abilities and psychic abilities, especially intuitive abilities. They're very good about listening to themselves and going within, and obviously that ranges, and it all depends on the scale of how evolved they are. They're the ones who have the most, I don't even know the right way to put it, but the most animals. Like Taurus is a bull, Cancer's a crab, Pisces is a fish. Scorpio has, like, depending on which one you look at, like between like 4 to 7, because they're so in depth and so complex that their evolution has multiple animals. Okay. With, I think some people say the eagle is the last one, but I've seen others where the phoenix is the final one. Regardless, though, they're very much about intensity. And I think that's why it was really nice to have the intense side of the Taurus and the grounding, because, everything in the zodiac sign is about balance. So if we're having some intense energies coming our way on the Scorpio side, it's kind of nice to have had that balanced Taurus grounding side, because they're both about intensity. So you're gonna, whatever's come is probably gonna be, or comes is gonna be intense. It's gonna be probably emotions, usually deep emotions. Scorpio is, all the water signs are emotional, but most of the other two like Cancer and Cancer and Pisces, I find are a little bit more like fluid. It's almost like a stepping. I think Pisces is the most fluid, Cancer is the middle, and Scorpio is the least. Theirs is almost like that still waters run deep, that murky water, that unknown below all that water. that dark murkiness that most people are scared of. Most people are scared to look at. Scorpios aren't. That's for the most part what they live in, is that darkness, the mystery, and they love it. And I think it's almost the opposite of a lot of other signs in that way, that the evolved Scorpios, that's one of their things, is to still love their darkness and love that dark water, but to also rise to the light and use the light, and learn how to balance that. Where a lot of signs, and I'm not saying they're dark, but a lot of signs are about embracing their dark side, and combining them. I think Scorpio, most of them, at least the more unevolved ones, are the ones still evolving. I mean, we're all always evolving, but the ones who haven't blended the light and the dark already, theirs is kind of opposite, in the sense of theirs is actually to rise and embrace the light. I know a lot of Scorpios that they kind of really have that thing. Like, they love that mischievous kind of dark thing, and almost like they don't feel like themselves, that they're dealing with the light or something with the light. Not that they're not good people, but just to use their regenerative and healing properties in better ways, especially if they are on a lower scale, because then they can tend to use it for not so great. I mean, still good, because I've had things done to me that, you know, back when, before my awakening, I mean, tore me apart. And now I look back on it and I realize how much of a great thing it was. So although that's great, and it's a great almost sacrifice in a way, to be the one to almost bring people through the dark so they can find the light again in a new perspective. Eventually their thing, Scorpios also, is they have to rise out of the darkness as well. But usually they do kind of help others intentionally or unintentionally through the dark before, you know, they rise to the light too. And I'm fully grateful for that. They will, there's no way you can't know who you are, your triggers, or they mirror you so much. So I'll get into that. But your sexuality may be increased, the intensity of that. It might be something you embrace. It might be something that you have almost an addiction with, or a problem with, or maybe you have old subconscious thoughts that you need to address with that. But either way, that intensity that comes in that creation, that fire. I mean, even though they are a water sign, Scorpios very much represent and embellish that fire-esque as well. Money might be also something that's in with this. Normally Scorpios are about kind of other, I don't know the right way to say this, but other people's money, outside money. Taurus is usually about their own and manifesting it themselves. Scorpio can obviously do that. We can pull off each other's traits. And they usually do end up, especially as they evolve, because usually when you evolve, you kind of balance with your opposite sign, so they naturally would start to manifest. But they would be like bonuses, inheritances, sharing money, loaning money, collaborations with business and money. But I think a lot of manifesting as well. They're gonna pull off that Taurus energy. It just kind of depends on what's going on in their life and what stage they're at in their evolution or evolving spirituality. So what you'll probably see is a lot of death, in a sense of removing of things that no longer work, but also rebirth. And that can be your health, looking into yourself about what needs to be looked at, what needs to be worked on, where can something be made better, what can I kind of rejuvenate again, maybe health practices, working out, eating better, meditation, really anything with your health can either come to light and be transformed, or work on transforming again. Material things, material possessions, it doesn't even matter what is. I mean, you can like fix up things in your house, change your house around, change your room around, really anything. Your clothes, your wardrobe, you know, your shoes, whatever your thing is. Creative projects, maybe there was something you started on that you stopped or got sidetracked from, and you're like, oh yeah, why did I stop that? Let me start that again. That'll be good for me. Or something that you're doing and you're like, you know what, this really isn't going the way I thought. Let me stop it. I'm going to start something else. There's going to be truths revealed, whether it's from, you know, things that you're revealing or things that you're hearing with others. Truth within yourself through self-reflection. I mean, I think that's the biggest part of this that's going to happen is self-reflection, because Scorpios are very big on self-reflection. Maybe even truths, you know, in the environment and social media and politics and all that I'm not even going to get into, not in this video anyways. But looking inside yourself, embracing your shadow side, understanding yourself, and not being scared of that, not being scared of the darkness, the things that are scary, that, you know, just seeing them and acknowledging them and loving them, you know, and, you know, utilizing some as strengths, and then releasing others that don't work for you and seeing old patterns. What areas of you need healing, whether it's emotional, physical. Look at the relationships, not only within yourself, but around you. Because everything in our environment mirrors things that are going on within us. So you can't really have always that victim mentality of, you know, oh, so-and-so is doing this, oh, so-and-so is this, or, oh, they're ignoring me, or they're not nice to me. Well, how are you ignoring yourself? How are you not being nice, or, you know, nice to yourself? If they're not listening to you, are you not listening to yourself? It always mirrors that within you. And just because of the way Scorpios are, to me, from what I've found, they are one of the best mirrors. And for somebody who's not ready to do reflection and look within and kind of take the responsibility of it, they are going to offend you. You are going to misunderstand them a lot of times. But you have to look deeper than that, not only within them, which is sometimes hard to do, but within yourself. Hey, stop. And sometimes too, I mean, I don't know if a lot of Scorpios will like that, because a lot of them like to be like mysterious. Although they want to be understood, they don't want to be understood, because they like kind of being mysterious. But a lot of times, whether it's Scorpios or anybody, the best way to understand somebody else, honestly, from what I found, is to understand yourself. Like, if you understand yourself, somehow you understand so many things around you. You understand so many people around you. It's just weird how that happens. Like, the more you let go of control, the more control you have. The more you trust yourself, the more you trust other people. It's just one of those things that happens and is ironic with the universe. But look at how you react to things. What are your roles in relationships? What triggers you? Why does it trigger you? Why is that person triggering you? Because only you can give something significance. Like, if somebody told me I was a bad cook, I'm not going to care, because I know I'm a good cook, so you're not going to faze me. But they might say something else to me that would really bother me. In the past, I mean, I used to be a very reactive person. And I lose control that way. And I realized, because it was things of my insecurity, and I'm like, oh, look at them, look at what they're doing. Oh, so-and-so did this to me and they were a horrible person. Yeah, but I was there and I participated and I clearly got something from it because I stayed there. So it's all about looking within yourself, seeing what your role is in things. Where can things be healed? Where can things be let go? Where can things be revived? What can be made better? You know, what are those dark sides in you? Because through a lot of my shadow work that I've done, it's just brought so many amazing things. I wish I had done it a lot sooner. I mean, in a way, I'm glad I didn't, because now I'm able to be here with the stuff I know now. but at the same time, I mean, it's such a blessing, and it's intense, but it's a great energy. All right. So anyways, we're going to start out with, I'm going to do Scorpio first, then I'm going to do Cancer, and then I'm going to do Pisces. I'm going to start out, what am I going to do? I'm going to pull 2 cards, which is kind of like the animal oracle cards, just to show the energy, and then like a crossing energy to either embody or what's a difficult, we'll figure out as it goes. They usually present different ways sometimes. And then if I have enough time, each one I'll pull out a general guidance oracle card as well for each sign. I'll read the bottom of the deck energies, and then we'll move on with them, just in case like Scorpio's done and they want to go on. They'll get all the rest of the benefits too, instead of saving it for last and then they miss it. So this one I am going to read from a book, just because I like the messages in it, and then if I pick anything else up intuitively, I'll say that. So we're just going to do this for an overall general, the water signs. Just animalistic messages, energies. You get the gist. I already pre-shuffled as well, so. Need 2 cards. Concerning the water signs. The new moon. Scorpio new moon 2017. Representing the water signs. Scorpio new moon 2017. That's funny. Okay, so your first card, you have the bee. And your second one that came up, that's crossing, or the advice, or also what's more to take on that energy, you have the eagle. Isn't that kind of fitting? That's funny. All right, so let's read the bee first. All right. So it's about earnest, hardworking, democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe, and then they sting. Oh my God, that is so funny. When in balance, they are content, active, and vibrant. When out of balance, they are overworked and annoyed. To bring it to balance, they need a mini vacation. Which is kind of like the Taurus full moon, so hopefully everybody's been enjoying that. I think the Scorpios are really like embracing a lot of this. Let's look at Eagle real quick. All-pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, they're bright, radiant, and I guess they like challenges. When out of balance, they're very controlling. To bring into balance, you need to step into the unknown, because it's really going through the unknown that transforms you. So you have with the bee, you have the yellow colors and kind of like the greenish blue. So that's probably like the heart and the throat. Not only is it going to bring you power and confidence through like the solar plexus chakra, but also I see green and blue. So your heart chakra also with your throat chakra, looking more into your emotions, speaking your truth. That's either what needs to be worked on or what's going on. The bees are very worker. I mean, it is very a Scorpio energy as well as a Taurus, because Scorpio is just like Taurus. They will finish a task. Like they will go. They are very loyal in that way. But they're also, they'll sting if they get annoyed. They feel small, and just not powerful. I mean, bees are powerful, but they're not the powerful one. The queen is, they're working for somebody else. They're small, a small part of a big picture that is needed, but just not as much in the power. And because of that, they can get angry very easily and sting. Where the eagle, I mean, that's power. You also have orange, which is creation, your sacral chakra, yellow, confidence as well. But just rising, growing, strength, power, rebirth, just knowing who you are. Whether you work for somebody or not, it doesn't matter. You're not going to feel this small. You're going to feel this powerful. And watching, I mean, the eagles, they also, kind of like I was saying, they soar and they observe and they patiently watch and they wait for the prime opportunity to dive and get the prey or get whatever they're going after. They're very patient and observing, and they kind of just go with the flow as needed. They are a fixed sign, but because of the death and rebirth, they kind of will go with the flow a little bit more than some other fixed signs. So, yeah, we'll move on for sake of time. So the overall energies is you have the Six of Cups. I have a couple different decks. I feel like some people who are watching, some energies are either children or memories of the past, nostalgia, remembering those times, looking within yourself. Like there's something they know, either something they want, something they know that might be coming, and they're waiting on it. They're having patience and planning and laying the seeds, which is actually funny because that's exactly what this new moon is about, for a groundedness of some type of union moving forward. And it really kind of changes your life in a good or a bad way. I would imagine this would be good, but you never know. I mean, sometimes it has to be good to change your life, and sometimes things are bad to change your life, but end up being good things. But it does show victory and success at the end. Like when I look at the bottom of the deck, you have the Six of Cups, you have the High Priestess, the Two of Wands, waiting on roots. There's roots there showing something from your past. Patience, Seven of Pentacles, Four of Wands, balance, stability, foundation. A union, doesn't have to be love. It can be any type of union, family, friends, children, love. Positive, moving forward. Eight of Pentacles, so working on something. The Tower, and then victory and success, the Six of Wands. So I feel like there may be some parts of the energy is dealing with or waiting on things from the past. I don't know if things have to be let go before that can happen, or if there is a waiting on the past and that has to be let go, but there is some essence of the past returning and having patience while that is happening. And it looks like it ends up being a good thing. You also have at the bottom of another deck, you have Scorpio, the Death card, the ending of something and the creation of something new, going on a new path, something that's kind of you've been thinking about. It's been on your mind, eating away at you for a while. See the little fish biting at his legs. You probably could have went in it a better way, because I don't know why he's not in the boat and he's walking through the water with the piranhas. I have no idea. So there might have been a better way, but you chose to stick through it, and it's been kind of eating away at you a little bit, but you're starting new with it. And you're nurturing the situation, and you're waiting for your ships to come in. And you're waiting for basically your fourth rod to give stability and balance to the situation. I'm not sure if that's what was going on, and because it seems like at least Scorpio and Cancer here are just like they've kind of had it with emotional stuff a little bit. I don't know. And then another deck has the Devil and the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Wands, the Three of Swords. So, you have the Queen of Swords cutting things away, and waiting, the Seven of Pentacles again. I think a lot of people have been thinking about and waiting on things from the past and kind of been in very emotional situations. And I think some are putting it on hold. Some are giving up. Some are done with it. And some rightfully should be let go. Rightfully so. But there's also the thing about patience. Scorpio is also about patience and planning and waiting for that right time. Divine timing, the right timing when things work out. But patience. God, I don't know if I know one of the more patient signs. About things they want. For somebody who's so intense of a sign, they will have something and they will know. They are the best about just knowing what they need for it to come to them and just waiting. Waiting for it to come to them instead of being like, no, I'm going to bulldog it and go get it. And no, they will wait. Most of the time they will wait. There are a lot of Scorpios that are intense, and you'll know because they'll go after you as well. But it is also very strong of a Scorpio trait to be like, no, I know exactly what I want, and I know it's coming, and I'm going to sit and wait, and I'm going to do my thing in that time, but I know it's coming. So, depends which way you go with that energy. Sorry, I had to get a card. Okay, so let's start with Scorpios. Scorpio has... I'm going to run out of time. Scorpio has the Hermit, which says solitude, and balance. I guess it would be more like this if you looked at it how I see it. And the way this looks is that this is what is going on now, or what should be happening. And to clarify it, you have the King of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles, and I'll hold each one up. This King of Swords is he's very much in his power. He's very much about speaking his truth. If you look also, his little kind of devil friend, he is more tan with very little blue. And this earth that he's holding, again, is a lot of tan with very little blue. So it's almost like they are, like Scorpios are trying to kind of just be in their power and in their truth and just be grounded. I think they've had a lot of emotional stuff going on. They've been through a lot, and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of over the emotions right now. I'm gonna limit that side of it. I'm not really looking at love. I'm not really dealing with this stuff. I'm trying to ground myself, and through his being kind of poised and really yielding the truth, and both his little side companion, the earth he's holding, being mostly of the earth nature instead of the water, I think they're trying to really embrace that groundedness, because there's probably been a lot of things that have had them, it's just been very emotional for them. Again, you have the Six of Wands, and this Six of Wands is like, he's really in his power. Not really saying much. Same with the King of Swords. They say what they need to, and they don't say what they don't need to. Like, they just very, is a communicative sign, but it's also like the King of Swords is very like, I say only what I need to say. And this guy's just sitting here like, yep, that's right. I'm in my power. Everybody's like, yay, yay for him. And he's just sitting there like, they just in their power. They're not saying much. They don't want to do much. The Three of Pentacles, if you look in this one, is like, I think they are focusing a lot on work. They're trying to keep their mind off things also. They are trying very much to work with other people, even though I think they're kind of, their fuse is a little bit short. They're just kind of over it. And I think there was a whole lot of time of like outside sources. Like in this picture, like they're working on other people around them. They're focusing on other people around them, and they're putting work into that. But they're not really looking within, inside themselves. It's all external. So I just think there was too much time spent externally around the Scorpios, as well as external environments just being kind of enough. Like, enough's enough. I'm shutting down that side. I'm pulling the rational side. I'm going to kind of go more within. I don't know if you can see it, but this half of the book has writing on it and this half doesn't. And like, I'm going inside to see what I want the other half of this book to look like and what I want it to be comprised of. And I'm going to create balance for myself. I have all the things I need in order to manifest what I want. And I'm going to go inside and find out what that is. To create anew, manifest anew, regenerate. I mean, even his wings are very like phoenix or eagle-like. I believe they are very much in a phase, a lot of Scorpios, of death and rebirth. They are very much embracing the Scorpio energy. As far as guidance or advice, you have the Two of Wands, and it's just, I see balance. I see a lot of the advice cards, actually, all of them are about balance. If you look, there's two rods, balance. The world in this card has a lot more water in it. It's not mostly comprised of earth compared to the other world. So it's about, don't just go one way, or maybe you have to a little bit. Sometimes you do have to go a little bit in the other direction in order to rebalance yourself back out. So if you've been emotional, sometimes I guess you do have to go a little bit more in your mind, but just don't stay there. Give yourself a little bit of time to relax and balance yourself back out. Don't just stay over analytical, over in your mind. There is a benefit to using and utilizing and appreciating, I cannot talk at all during this video, appreciating your emotions. And also you see the Joker in the background. Let it go. Move on. Turn your back to it. Don't just wipe it off, Boop. So stay balanced about it. I think there are good things that are coming in good times ahead of Scorpios, though. But just don't forget about balance. And I think a lot of Scorpios are getting it, but I'm not sure. If not, go within. Go within, look within, find that inner guidance, utilize your Scorpio energy, and balance yourself out. If you need to take a break, take a break. But balance yourself out and don't lose your passion. Don't lose your intensity. It's one of the great parts about you. Maybe even use passion and creativity, like work. Do a creative project. You know, the Three of Pentacles. And, you know, yeah, go kind of back off love a little bit for a minute if you have to. Focus on something else you love so it keeps the passion, like how his red wardrobe, whatever it is. Find something else you're passionate about that can feed you in a healthy way and heal you while you're transforming and while you're rebalancing yourself, because one of the best things that can heal you is finding something that's healthy, that you're passionate about, and especially a creative venture. So find something creative for you or that you're passionate about, and then go within, and eventually it'll heal you. It'll give you enough of a break, and it'll help rebalance you. I don't know time. Let's see, pull an advice card or an oracle card for Scorpios. Scorpio, new moon, new moon, 2017. So you got, I don't know if you can really see it. You missed someone. Better in the light, not always showing it. You might be missing somebody from the past. You might be missing somebody that you love, and that's also why you're choosing just to kind of go in your more analytical side and not your emotional side. You could also be kind of sad over what you're having to lose about yourself or in your own life during the death and rebirth process. So it could also be parts of yourself that you really love that's like, I realize I have to let it go and let it change, but that's sad. It was nice for a little while. I enjoyed that. So there could be a little bit of it also being about parts of yourself that you had to let go that were a little bit hard. But I do also think that it could be somebody that passed on, that you're thinking a lot about and you really miss. And it could also be a loved one or you know, somebody that did pass and they transformed to the other side. You have, you know, butterflies in the picture. But I think it's also, I think this whole process is also you, obviously transforming as well. But in whatever way it applies to you, I do think that missing somebody and a lot is part of at least the emotional hurt that's going on that has kind of forced you guys more inside and more in an analytical, just keeping to yourselves mode and just focusing on the things that kind of keep your mind off things right now. My cat. But keep your head up and look forward. And remember that your emotions also serve very beneficially as well. You also need them for your intuition and knowing how to listen to yourself and what your needs and wants are. It'll come back around though. It'll balance out. Okay, so Cancer, I might have to make this into 2 parts. We're going to see how this goes. Cancer has obstacles and challenges. So the 5 of Wands. You can't really see it that good right here. I might have to do this during the daytime, but this person is walking over something. Here's something on the other side. It's missing in between. And deep down in here is almost like a river or some watery path. And also right here where they're standing on, I don't know how much you could see it, but it's almost like there's an imprint of a phoenix on this stone or whatever the person is standing on. And there's kind of like little guiding bug lights along the way, guiding them along. So there's been a lot of conflict and challenges going on, and I think Cancers are really kind of over emotions right now too. Like this person is trying to get to the other side and they're trying to get somewhere, and they do not want to deal with that water below. They're like, no, I don't want to go down there. And they're not wanting to deal with the emotions. They're trying to avoid emotions. The cards, you actually got 4 cards. And I was only asking for 2 originally, but you have the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Cups. Wow, I just realized you have 3 8s. That's really something. That's a very significant number. You have the 8 of Swords. It could also be like infinity. I don't know if anybody's dealing with twin flames. It's also kind of like a guidance and a divine number, a transformative number. Infinity, just going eternal. You also have the Moon. So I feel like a lot of people, a lot of Cancers, a lot of you guys are just really over something. Like you might have gotten a message, some type of communication, and you're just like, I'm over it. I'm cutting it all down. I'm done. I'm over. I'm starting anew. I'm done with it. I'm starting new. You're just you're cutting it all down. You're taking action, you're cutting it down. You got see the message right there. And you just seem kind of over it. You're walking away from it. You want something more. You want something better, something higher. Could be spiritual, just something better for you. Maybe something that you're passionate about. Maybe someone who's more passionate about you. I mean, her thing's red. Hers is red. There just may not be enough passion or enough within the situation that you're just like, what am I doing? I'm over it. Okay, I got something for you. I'm cutting all this down. I'm going to find something better. And as of right now, it's not you, because all that you're doing for me is this, and you're making me where I'm all in my head and I'm about to fall backwards on these swords, and this is just not healthy and not good. And maybe this communication was either some truths coming out, emotional manipulation, because how they're being like manipulated by the Moon, and that's coming out. And you're also pulling yourself out of it. Like you see the truth. You either found out the truth or you see the truth yourself. Like there's something that came out and you're like, I don't want to be manipulated anymore. I don't want my emotions to be all over the place. I don't want to be out of whack and not in control of myself. I'm over this. I'm ending it. I'm stopping it. Like, I don't even want to have anything to do with it. Because Cancers, like, they're so sensitive and so emotional and so nurturing and loving and very much about friends and family and just nurturing and giving. So much so that it hurts them sometimes even more. They just don't really have the sting of the Scorpio. So a lot of times they won't show it, or they'll shut it down or try to avoid it because it hurts so much. And it seems like there's just this energy here of really, really just being hurt and really being done with it, and just not being able to handle it, and almost just cutting down the emotions. I mean, not only is she walking away from these cups, but she's walking away from emotions too. And just very, very in her head also. And the advice card for Cancers is the Justice card. And it's like, you also have balance with this. You have the scales. You have the sword up here about truth. You also have this lady nurturing this baby and helping this other person. Here's another thing, about passion. So it's like, don't lose your passion. Don't lose that caring side of you just because something didn't work out. Like, remain balanced. Speak your truth when it has to be spoken. Don't just shut down and avoid it. If you have to leave the situation, leave. I mean, unless you're an unhealthy one, don't say anything, just go. But speak your truth and be who you are. And don't not be nurturing just because somebody didn't appreciate it. Look at who's around you. Look at what you're keeping around you. What are you allowing around you? Who are you allowing to not appreciate what you're giving? And remove that from your life so that you can make room for people who will appreciate your nurturing and loving side, and let it be balanced. Also, make sure you're not in something codependent. Okay? Because you don't want to be over giving or expecting something in return or anything like that. I don't know if you are, but to where you feel unappreciated, but just, maybe you're just taking it very sensitively. Don't be in a codependent situation. Like, don't look for that from others. Look for the even give and take, the balance of it. You don't go and either overgive or not give at all. You remove situations from your life that are not serving you in that way or not giving you what you want. And don't go find another situation just because you're lonely and then hope they didn't appreciate it either. No, if you have to be by yourself for a little while, if you have to use the Scorpio energy, go within, look within yourself. What is your role in everything? Why are you doing the things you are doing? And I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong, but everybody has a part in something, whether what they allow, what they give, what they expect. Whether you're in a role of being, you can't receive, but you can just give. Just over giving, be in the receptive mode as well. If people are not giving that balance, remove yourself from that situation. Not your emotions, not from going within, not from, because emotions are amazing things. A lot of people run from them, and I understand it. I tuck some down that I didn't even know. And everything that I've become now and what I'm still becoming has been through me resurfacing them and looking at them and balancing them and knowing why they're there and seeing my part. So if you're surrounded by a person or people or situations that are not giving back to you or not appreciating you or not returning that passion or the nurturing, the gratitude, being as sincere and loyal as you are, no. Cut it out. Bye. And you look within and see what in you attracted that type of person. Now, if it's a one-time thing, maybe. But look at your relationships. Is it a pattern? Even if it's not a pattern, what did you not look at or not notice or ignore to keep that there? But either way, regardless, don't shut yourself down because of something that you're just like about. And if you have to, remove it, but don't not look at your emotions. Don't be done with your emotions. Don't become hard or emotionless or whatever. Keep that nurturing side of you because it's what you love. It's what you love about yourself, and it's what feeds you. It's what makes you feel good. It's who you are. You're a nurturing sign. You're a loving sign. Keep that. Just find people around you that deserve you and don't put people around you that don't, whether you're lonely or not. Find a hobby, find something you love, find something creative, find something about yourself, look within in who you are, what you need to let go, what you need to bring in, what you can revive, what is it about yourself. Because when you do that and you bring yourself and you're not dependent on somebody else being there or bringing you happiness or whatever, these people who are balanced with you automatically align right with you, and you don't have to worry about this energy of being like, peace. No, I'm done. Okay? Let's see. What advice, oracle cards for Cancer, the Scorpio, new moon 2017. Okay, so your sensuality is beautiful. She looks like she's crying. She looks like, to be honest, she's kind of pissed off. She looks like she's in the sewers. In some type of sadness and darkness. Like somebody didn't appreciate those sides. Somebody didn't appreciate those emotional depth sides and that nurturing side. I mean, there's a lot of water she's sitting in, and that's a lot of emotions. And it wasn't appreciated. And I think you're kind of like, this part's really not serving me well. I don't like this. Same as Scorpio, kind of. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing for you. It's just doing it in a balanced and the right way. There's just a lot of emotions underneath. I mean, all underground of what can't be seen. I think you're holding a lot in, and you're trying to like just let it go. I mean, all these waters are trapped underneath. You need to look within. You need to look within at your emotions. You need to let your anger out. You need to let your sadness out. You need to look at it, work through it, speak your truth. Don't just tuck it underneath in some other vessel inside you or box inside you or whatever, and let it just get stuck there and stagnant. Let all of it out and embrace your emotions. Just balance them. I mean, your thing also, everybody's is balance. All three is balance. Balance the emotions. Don't just put them away somewhere. She's also kind of greenish. So it's like the heart chakra, emotions. Keep your heart chakra open. If it's not, open it, work on it. But do not shut that down. Do not let some other situation that did not work out for you shut you down or shut your emotions down. That is part of you being home, is being emotionally free and fluent and loving and nurturing. It's just knowing when to surround yourself by the right situations and the right people. So don't try to avoid your emotions. I mean, Cancer, you're like one of the most emotional and nurturing signs. So don't do that. Okay? Pisces. Pisces has discontent and boredom. 4 of Cups, but it's reversed. So it's like either you need to like stop ignoring things that are being offered to you and take action, or this is what you're doing. And I'm kind of getting this is what you're doing. I feel like Pisces is really stepping into a lot of good stuff. They're kind of, I don't know. It almost seems like a lot of Pisces are kind of getting the energy early. They've kind of been going through a lot of transformations. You got the Strength card and you got the Magician. I mean, look, it's like this is intertwined with him. This is like almost the inner demon, the inner whatever. And he's like, I'm not scared. I'm looking within. What's in there? What's up? What's going on? I'm looking. and conquering it, conquering your beast. Like what is the deal? Because I'm ready to step forward, take action, and manifest. And not only that, but I don't know if you can really see it, but in the background, it looks like these are circus people, because there's like almost circusy tents in the back. This is like obviously very circusy, a magician. There's people watching, so it's almost like there's always people around and they're showing them something. And when you have your advice card, you have the Two of Pentacles. So you're really balancing things. You're juggling it well, but you're balancing learning on the inside and learning how to take action on the outside. And there's sheep in the background. So I almost get it, like, you know, and here's like the guidance in your path. I think you're really spiritual this month and really being guided. But it's almost like you're walking up to the sheep, like they're sheeple, you know, and you're just like, look what I learned. Look at this, guys. Like, hey, I'm learning this. I figured out how to look within and how to manifest, and I'm doing pretty good balancing it. And you're kind of just doing this loving and caring thing where you're like, I want to show people. I want to help people. Like, don't be like I used to be. Don't be, you know, kind of sheeple and just not thinking and just going off patterns and not thinking about what you're doing and just doing what you're told and not questioning things and just everything you learned. The individuality, appreciating the individuality. I feel Pisces is also one of those signs a lot of times that's misunderstood, because each zodiac sign kind of is comprised of all the ones before. So they almost have this, they have to take all of them in and balance them. And they're just kind of like out there, but like in a good way, in a very spiritual and a very, very esoteric and mystical, but just somewhere else, but here at the same time, but able to be like in a beautiful way, and almost in this way where it's they like being somewhere else, that they like sleeping, they like relaxing, they like kind of being in other realms, even if they don't know they are, but they enjoy that kind of other side, and almost the fantasy side. And I find Pisces is very good about, if I had to take a lesson from them, one of them that I have taken from them is about the lesson of receiving. They're very good about, I'm not saying they're not hardworking, because they're very hardworking people, but I've definitely learned the lesson of receptivity from Pisces in a way of, they still a lot of times get things done. They just sometimes do it in a different way. And I think a lot of times they can be judged in a way of not doing it in the normal way, the way of being told, like sheep, you know, like, no, this is how you do it. This is what people in society do. This is what people should do. You're not doing it right if you don't do it like this. You need to go get a job, a 9-to-5. You need to not relax. Like, you need to not do this task like that, or you shouldn't think like that, or, oh, that's a very out there thought. You need to come down a bit, or just very misunderstood. And I think Pisces are going to become a little bit more appreciated than maybe they have been. And a lot of the times in the past, just in a way of the way energies are transforming and lifting. Pisces is going to be one of those energies that are really going to get it, and they're really going to appreciate it, and they're really going to really be able to embrace those energies of being able to do things in the way they are and loving that, because everybody, it was almost like they were brainwashed for so long that, you know, they kind of almost got ridiculed, or just, you know, just something's wrong with you. No, nothing's wrong with you. Like, your thing is to come and show people how to be able to not only do the things people have already been doing for a long time, but better and more things, and things that people couldn't even imagine because their mind was so focused and so just one-tracked. You know, a lot of people. And there are other signs who could do that too, but Pisces is very dreamy and imaginative and coming and saying, look, I can do what you do, but I can do it my way. And I think they were held back a lot of times from doing it their way for getting so much, I don't want to say ridicule because it's strong, but just so much of that energy of like, no, you're wrong. That's not how you do it. Or you're not doing it. Or sometimes they even stop doing things because people are always like trying to tell them how to do it and that they're doing it wrong. When that's the beauty of this world, is of seeing, don't always tell people that they're wrong. Look at how they do things. Shut your mouth long enough to look at how people do things, because sometimes it can be done the same way, easier, better, or an outcome that you couldn't even imagine could come to reality. And I think that's a big thing of what Pisces is going to be bringing forth, is they have found their strength. They have found what they have put down, whether it was by them, obviously themselves, but also other people around them. And they're just like, why am I judging myself and my healthiness in a world of sick people? Why should that determine what I think of myself and what I do? And they're finding it within all those things they shut down because they felt not normal, because so many people have misunderstood them. And they're bringing it back up. Oh yeah, they're bringing it back up. And they're using it. And they're going to show people. Pisces is coming into their power. And I don't know. I think Scorpio actually might be. Show me a card for Pisces. New Moon 2017. I don't know. I think they might almost embrace this energy. It might be a little intense for them because they do absorb a lot of energies around them. But I don't know. Pisces seems like they're doing something special. I think they're really figuring something out. They're coming out of a time and coming out of some years, and I do think they have a lot of emotional work to do. And if they're already looking like this and haven't fully done it, this lady's a boss. She's on top of her game. She's together. She's beautiful. She's like, pardon my French, but I'm the shit. And I know it. Glamour, intrigue, drama. She's holding a mask as well. So I think that they're taking the mask off. Pisces is coming into themselves, and they're showing who they are, and they are not apologizing for it. They are not ashamed of it or bashful. There is work still to be done. I know, I can feel it. We all do. But I'm excited about it. And I think they're going to be excited about it, or are excited about it. Because she's beautiful. I mean, and she's having fun with it. She's being creative with it. She's putting herself together, and she's like, almost like, it's like a woman who's having like play fun time and is like, so I don't care that I'm an adult. I'm going to dress up. I'm going to do my makeup. So no, I'm not going to a masquerade ball, and it's fun and I like it and it makes me feel good. We should actually all do this. We could do something fun with it. We could do great things. We can make money. We can do creative things. We can help people. We need to do things like this. Maybe if the world did more things like this and had more fun and had that heart of a child, that mind and imagination and creativity of a child, that a lot of times Pisces is just, it's not embraced. The world would be a better place. So Pisces, keep doing whatever you're doing. I don't care what anybody says. You will be being embraced more, and if not now, it will be soon, but I do think you'll be embraced more now. But who cares? Because, like I said, you cannot judge yourself and what people think of you based on a world that is sick. It's like Peter Pan. I kind of got this like a while after Awakening, where it was like, I kind of got I don't know if that's what the maker of Peter Pan meant, but I kind of saw it that way, where it's like, it is the way it's supposed to be. Peter Pan didn't always want to be a kid, and yeah, I guess sometimes always play, but he had the right idea, and everybody bashed him and was like, oh, how irresponsible, oh, you can't do that, we can't always be kids. And you know, I know he didn't grow up, and you know, there's the whole fictitious side of it, but just because you grow up, and yes, sometimes you have to mature, you have to have responsibilities, but it is the misprocessings in life that make you lose that heart of a child. And then life is not what it's supposed to be anymore. If people do it the way they're supposed to do it, you can have those responsibilities while still having the imagination, creativity, and playtime of a child. Nobody ever said you have to do a 9-to-5 job. Nobody ever said you have to do it this way or that way. You could do it whatever way you want, as long as the outcome is what you wanted it to be or better. And Peter Pan kind of did have it right. You should always keep that spirit of a child. Always. No matter what. The imagination, the creativity. Like, becoming an adult does not have to be boring, and it does not mean that your life is over and that playtime is over. I don't know why I'm getting so stern with this. But rock on, Pisces. Okay? Yeah. I think that's it. This video is very, like, long enough. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I belong on Sandy's channel. Anyways, thanks, guys. I have no idea. This video might actually already have, like, split itself into so many parts. And if it is, I'm sorry. I don't even know what to do about that. I'm going to fix it and get a different camera, but I don't know. We'll see how it works out. If it's all in one video, ignore what I'm saying right now. If it is, I apologize, and it will be worked out, but I hope this resonates with a lot of people. It's not going to resonate with everybody. Resonate. So, but I hope it helps. Whether it's some of it, all of it. I do personal readings. I do. That's a horrible way of saying it. I do personal readings. And in my page, I will be putting the information about, so you can email me about that, and I'll be putting like the prices and all of that. But my main goal here is that I hope this really helps you. Because I know how much it's really helped me through things, and I'm wanting to give back. And I've been pushed to do this as part of my life mission and what I'm supposed to be doing, and to help people. Like, this is actually becoming my job now, and I'm taking a chance on it, and kind of left what I was doing because it's my soul mission. It's what I'm supposed to do, and I want to help people, and it's when I'm aligned. I feel aligned. I feel it's what I'm supposed to be doing, and nothing feels more right. And I am going to venture into different avenues, but we'll get into that in other videos about